So I just read this story about this woman on a flight out of Atlanta, Georgia, that was caught breastfeeding her cat on the flight. Breastfeed. Let me just repeat in case you didn't catch that for the people in the back. Breastfeeding her cat on the plane.
I thought you were like setting us up to like get some like brownie feminism points. Where we're just like, I don't know why people are upset that she was breastfeeding her child on the plane. Like, it's a human right.
I mean, millennials are known as the pet parents, I guess.
That's you drop the cat on me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of SpaceBar Podcast, where we get together and we talk about things that we deem might be relevant to people in the world, like you. So thank you for tuning in again. If this is your first time tuning in, we appreciate the new viewership. If this is not your first time, we appreciate you coming back. I'm Kyle.
I'm Drew.
I'm Eric.
What happens if like that cat was feral and there was like 25 of them? That'd be wild.
They would have cut these motherfucking hands, is what.
Hands and feet. All of the above.
She ain't have no nipples anymore, I'd tell you that much.
Be a pepperoni sausage.
Oh.
Whoa, wait, what did you just say?
She ain't got no nipples.
No nipples.
I can't remember what you just said. Oh, viewership. Yeah, viewership's down for the audio podcast. So if you're listening on Spotify right now, I love you. Yeah, it's good times.
I feel like the Spotify is the hardest one to
fresh,
listen to.
I feel like, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like we're very visual people. Like, we're pretty. We do a lot of hand motions. Like, we're very theatric.
We are very animated people as individuals.
But not from Japan, so we're not anime.
Facts. Well, yeah, facts.
There's no well. This is facts.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't explore that on that episode.
Explore the like background for that story.
Yeah.
How like you
thoroughly
hate everybody who calls Avatar: The Last Airbender an anime.
Because it's not an anime. If it's an anime, then like what Teen Titans is technically an anime. Then
So does that mean what is Korean anime then?
It's
It's not like Japan is the only Asian culture to make cartoons.
Anime is animation out of Japan. That's like it's like a textbook definition.
Maybe initially, but I feel like at this point, at this day and age, considering how many there are, it's definitely a blanket term.
I mean, if there's a definition to the term, it can't be a blanket term.
Yeah. If you want to be super cringe and call like Avatar: The Last Airbender an American anime, by all means call it an American anime. That's cringe as fuck, but you can call it that. But you can't call it an anime. Anime is from Japan. It's Japanese animation by definition.
Nathan.
What?
You good over there?
It's like champagne.
Your camera's like doing a weird thing for me on my screen.
I know. I don't even have his camera pulled up.
Wow. Is it just me?
No.
I don't want to see this.
Yeah, it's doing it. Is it doing it on your recording screen? It's not doing it on his recording.
It's doing it on my
Oh,
screen.
that's good.
Yeah.
Is
It's
it the
probably
weird
just-
flicker thing?
Yeah, it's got to be a Discord thing.
Every now and then?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it just did it.
No, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is.
It looked like you were having like an internal struggle.
Oh,
Like,
he's
I
got to
was
be.
seeing
He's got to be alt
negative
tabbing.
Nathan, right?
No. I just
Voldemort's
thought
in the
Drew- I
background.
thought that was Drew. Dead ass. I was just like, what?
Who wore it better?
Right. No, I know what it is. When I was adjusting my camera settings earlier,
That's a
there
big beer.
was a
big
refresh
boy
rate thing
coming out.
that I changed.
Shout out
I'm pretty sure that's
Cave
what that
Lounge in
is.
Arlington, Oktoberfest
nice.
2012.
Rather not.
I went there last night or Saturday night after I had dinner with my family.
Actually, out of all the places in Arlington, Caves is like probably one of the places I don't have a problem with. Currently,
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
I
it's
Yeah,
hard
I
to
guess
have a
that's
problem
fair.
with
It's
caves.
the only. Yeah, I guess it would be the only place that I would like willingly go. at
like
this
right
point,
now,
so.
yeah. If I didn't hate everything in Arlington,
Facts.
It's more of just like, it seems like every time I go there, it's like I'm guaranteed to run into at least one or two people from high school. that
yeah,
I
but
know
you can't be
very
mad at the
much.
place for that. Like,
For sure.
stop knowing people who suck.
Brother, I'm trying.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, honestly.
But yeah, I still keep thinking that's true. I guess it's just the matching plaid.
Yeah.
I saw. Speaking of which, I saw James there.
Nice.
Doing good.
Shout out James Gammon if you ever get onto the episode.
Shout out to that guy.
I don't know what his TikTok
Great
is,
guy.
but follow his TikTok. He makes guitar videos.
I don't follow. I don't know if I follow him, but he he pops up on my feed a lot.
Yeah, he pops up on mine, and then I think it's just like if there's people in your phone book that have a TikTok, I think they'll show up on your For You page.
Yeah, or if like someone whose sister is in your phone book has a TikTok, she'll throw up show up on your page too.
For sure.
So what?
You'll throw up.
What? I'm sorry. Sure. Yeah. So like, it is weird. TikTok algorithm is crazy because like I posted a TikTok because I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm in a new room.
You are in a new room.
I was in this room that's on the exterior of this wall to my right, and I shuffled everything back and forth. So I posted a TikTok, just like a transition video of like me mid mess to like clearing everything up.
Oh, I like that video. That came up on my feed.
Yeah.
But I follow you, so.
But like two people that we know in Discord that live in a completely different state who haven't liked or followed me on TikTok previous to yesterday, both liked it and followed me.
Solid.
Nice.
I get Dustin Leemaster a lot. Leemaster?
I have
no idea how to say his last name, but he comes up on my feed
forever.
He looks like he's doing all right.
I had a TikTok.
He actually posts like not like daily, but he's got quite a bit of videos. Like probably
Is it all motorcycle videos?
No, some of them just chilling.
I don't think that's his like. I mean, I think we were maybe Facebook or Instagram friends. I can't remember, but it looks like he's doing some like trucking business or.
I got Box's brother too. Popped up on my feed.
You know, Box had a brother.
Eugene.
Yeah.
I have him on Facebook.
I don't know if they're like brothers. I think there's a story there.
Probably.
Because I'm pretty sure he's like Hispanic / Native American.
Yeah, I feel like anybody named Eugene probably has a story, you know?
They've seen some things.
They definitely have.
I don't know why that's
kids.
accurate. I don't know why that's fucking accurate.
They're collecting Social Security.
This guy is actually not that old, so I'm disproving my own theory. So he's a cool guy though.
That's good.
He has choppers.
That's something I want to get into.
I've heard a lot of feedback that the Never Have I Ever episode, or not the Never Have, the Would You Rather episode is top notch. Probably voted our best episode so far. I would say
it's the best episode if people listen to it. God damn it! It's like so stressful because like I have the Anchor app, which is how we post our episodes on it. So like I constantly check it, and it's something you shouldn't do. It's like what like big time streamers always talk about. It's like don't look at the views. Never look at the views, or you'll drive yourself crazy. And that's what I do
all day long.
I just
just stare at the views.
Yeah, I like once a day I'll like refresh it, and I'm like, all right, 2 more people watching it. Sick, and I'll keep on going. Our most viewed episode is actually our third one. It's the what was the title? Oh, Nathan Hates Everything.
Yeah, that was a good thumbnail.
That was a very good thumbnail.
Collaborated effort. Why don't we just go ahead and clickbait a thumbnail right now? Why don't you throw that puppy up here? I feel like dogs equal clicks in the YouTube world.
That's facts.
Throw that story up. I mean, dogs and then like being a good son. Like, bro, that's 100 million views right here.
Cute that dog is.
That's a cute ass fucking dog.
It really is. Oh,
too bad he doesn't have a name. Why don't we dive into the story a little bit?
He doesn't. I still don't like know what to. I just feel weird calling him anything because he's not mine. And it's like I feel like my dad would like to name him, but in my head I've just been calling him Peter Parker, just because I like to say hello, Peter.
PP for short.
Yeah, he do be fucking peeing, bro.
Pee-pee Parker.
Be peeing.
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He parks and then he pees.
Facts.
He likes to eat poop and dirt.
A little piss peters out.
Yes, fucking
your old roommate? Rip.
God damn.
Who's your old roommate?
So fucking... He
who shall not be named.
Yeah, they had a dog and they never fucking took care of their fucking dog, and it was on everybody else in the house.
Can't remember who you used to live with.
Nobody important. Shots fired, and I meant every word of it.
Yeah, like he's been like my brother keeps. I think my brother wants to keep him, but I was just like, man, if having a puppy for a week and a half has taught me anything. It's just like, I don't have that type of patience. I would love a dog, but I need a dog that already knows how to dog. 'Cause I don't know
We'll
how
get a
to
puppy
teach him.
then, yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't get a puppy then.
Yeah, he just be like, he was real good the first day that we got him. He had a couple accidents in the house, but the first like time he peed and pooped in the house, he immediately ran and did it on a puppy pad. So I was like, oh shit, is he already trained? And I was like, that's fucking load off my mind. And then like he was pretty like acting like he was potty trained for like the first 2 days, and I was like, this is not that bad. And then the third day happened. I don't know. He got like real comfortable. He like opened up more around that time, and since then he's just been pissing and shitting in the house. And it's just
Yeah.
like, you
The first couple days are
motherfucker.
always like.
He's opening up more, all right.
Yeah.
You should pull your mic in a little bit. I'm getting a little ambience. Much
but
better.
yeah, he's also like crazy food motivated. So I've just been giving him like almost a fistful of treats every time we go outside, and he actually like uses the bathroom.
No shot. Nathan's out here fisting his dog.
I'm definitely not out here.
Couldn't
I'm
be
definitely
me.
not out here fisting his dog.
Podcast title, check.
Yeah,
with the
other than
clickbait.
that, it's been pretty chill.
With the clickbait.
Bro, Nathan fists dogs? And then he's just got a dog
No,
in his lap.
Nathan does not fist dogs.
I'm definitely going to have Nathan with 2 Hulk hand fists.
Yes.
And the dog.
Yes. What the dog's doing?
What that dog
He-
doing?
It was a little bit annoying when I was playing with our new toy. But as long as I'm like stationary, he just like sleeps at my feet. And there's a couple things we can do in there that's stationary that I just have to be standing up for. So
Yeah?
that's not too bad. And by I mean our toy, I just mean the 4 of us. We'll discuss that since we're gonna discuss it later, I guess.
Discuss what? I wasn't paying attention.
No shot.
Well, so that's the story of the dog. So
Yeah.
you're welcome for getting to see a cute ass dog. If you're on Spotify, make sure you jump over to YouTube, check out the cute ass dog, German Shepherd,
True.
purebred.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't wanna
What are
miss
you
this.
so wrapped up in over
You
there?
don't.
You don't.
I need that dog in my life.
Adorbs.
Oh, man.
What are you so wrapped up? Are you looking for something? You guys, what's on your mind?
Drew, I'm actively trying to lean back when I swallow my drink.
Thank you. Oh my god, bro. You have no idea. Like, for anybody who's listening, I tend to keep you in mind, right? If you're watching a video, you're most likely watching it like in the background on a TV or on a computer while you're working. If you're listening to the audio, you're probably in a car or you have headphones on. And the amount of burps, swallows, vape hits, can crushings, you have no idea. I sit
Joint?
there day and night. Because like editing should really only take me like an hour.
I mean,
episode,
really, if
maybe,
you
like,
leave
3
it in,
hours.
it just makes it an immersive experience. They're just one of us, you know? They're probably farting and burping along with us. Just farting and shitting.
God was
Whoa.
one of us.
The difference is they are not in our ear doing it. All right, it's fucking gross. If you ever clicked on Amaranth's stream and she's,
Who were we just talking about the other day? Who's the toe biter out here biting his own toes on stream?
oh, Aiden Ross.
What? Ew.
You're clipping Eric.
So gross.
Oh, he's not even talking.
Oh no, he was actually talking, and I was just watching his lips move.
Aiden Ross is, yeah, I like to watch his stream. I enjoy the clips I see of his content on like TikTok where he's like interviewing like famous rappers, you know, or people in the now. Like that's cool. But when it's just him streaming by himself, he's always picking his nose, which I have no problem with. Do you, bro? But like off camera, right? Like
Facts.
hit a side view, something. Turn your camera off. Just show a full screen of what you're doing on your computer. Handle your business instead of like trying to indiscreetly like get the one pick going, but coming back to it like every few seconds. And then like I tuned into his stream like the other day, and this man full on is flexible apparently because I can't get my foot anywhere close to my mouth, but like had his foot on his desk like going at a toe, and I didn't realize it until he did it the second time, and I was like, what the fuck am I watching? And then he
What was he
proceeded to lose like
doing? He's
25
just
grand.
sucking his own toes?
He was
I'm
like
so confused.
I think he was biting a nail or something.
Yeah,
bro.
it's like a nail biter.
Like, I just need context for what was happening.
Bro, all it takes is this right here. Bam. You know what that is?
Absolutely no
Why
idea.
the fuck?
Nice ass nail clippers. Bam, bro.
I don't know why you have it in a case.
I don't know why you have it
I
on
literally
you.
just got it.
Yeah.
It's in my desk.
This dude has a concealed carry for his fucking nail clippers and
Right,
shit.
bro.
License
You
to
never know when I'm
carry.
about to
Fastest
clip one,
clippers
you
in the
know?
West.
Second Amendment.
You never
I
know
think
when
it's
you're
just-
gonna have to get clipped.
Like I'm unhealthy, so I'm able to just like peel my nails. Like I can like just like my nails, and that's usually what I do with my toenails. Is I'll just peel them off and then discard them. That's
I have super
Nice.
healthy toenails, I guess, or something.
have
They're
super healthy
thick as
nails.
fuck.
Yeah,
No
for
shot I
real.
could ever
Yeah.
bite my toenail and get that motherfucker off.
It's like I might be able to get like my maybe middle toe down. Right?
Maybe.
Middle toe. like,
Maybe.
I guess ring toe is that, and my pinky toe.
is your middle toe longer?
my middle toe is
Okay, your middle toe wouldn't be your ring toe, right? So if your
No,
your
my-
thumb is
my-
your big toe, your
Yeah.
middle finger, your middle toe would be your middle finger, right?
My
So
I'm just trying to
toe is
figure out
not
how those
long.
are the ones you can get.
No, not with my like. What do you mean?
Oh,
I mean, first of all,
misheard.
like
Not
just
with
to
my-
clear
like,
the
I'm
air.
talking like peeling off, not
Like,
not
what
biting my
you're
damn
talking
toenails
about.
off. Yeah, what you got on? What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
What are we
I'm pretty sure I can peel all of them because I think I have before. Not my pinky on both my feet, and then the middle toe on my right.
I'm still
foot.
not
It's
positive
like-
what you mean by peel, because when I think
I just
peel,
cut my
like,
nails
it
like a
feels like you're
normal human
going
being.
back.
No, you just kind of like get a notch in there,
And then you
just
just-
peel it. Yeah, for sure.
That's
I've done that with
crazy.
like my hand. My nails.
I mean,
my
I
nails-
bite my fingernails.
My nails are pretty healthy.
Yeah,
But that's why I keep nail clippers, so I don't do that. Right? I don't have to get up or go do that. I don't have to search for them. Just in my desk, I clip them. I have a trash can right here. Easy.
I've
I guess
never
it's
been
just
in-
because I have like tons of bad habits. Like I've never considered like biting my nails to be like a particularly bad habit.
I used to bite my nails a lot.
But like I also like I don't bite them like excessively, like down to like the skin or whatever. Like, I
used to,
bite them
yeah.
because I'm like, this is too long. Time to make them not long. You know.
usually the reason
Just some nail
why I bite
clippers
my
will do the
nails
trick.
is because like I'm doing
That's just-
something and then I lift my nail and it hurts and I just immediately bite it off to make it feel better. If that makes sense.
It
You know what I
does.
just thought
Uh,
of? So like, whenever y'all were in like elementary school, did they ever do the thing where they'd be like, "Yo, you have something on your nails," and you have to look at them, and if you looked at them like this, you gay, but if you looked at them like this, you good. Like,
Yeah.
I just thought of that. I was like,
I have that thought
Sheesh.
in my head like once every 6 months. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good.
Well, I
those
used to-
TikToks are so funny. Sorry, not to delve off, but
It's
have,
cool. It
have you seen
happens
the
all
ones
the
that are
time.
like
Nathan's
when
right
you
behind me.
when you catch yourself being a little sus and you got to correct
Extra
yourself?
feminine or something.
Those are so funny. When you like stand and you got
yourself
your hand on
like-
your hip or something, you got to correct yourself.
Yeah.
I do be hitting that pose every now and then. You know,
It's
just-
comfy.
Yeah.
It's like leverage. It
I-
like takes the pressure off.
I was Winnie the Pooh around the house for like a solid hour and a half today.
Define Winnie the Pooh.
Just this.
Shirt, no bottoms.
No pants.
Sometimes I think
I
about.
need a visual experience.
Shit.
You could,
No, I'm just kidding.
Sometimes I'd be
We
thinking
can't do
about
that here.
the TikToks I'd be
Subscribe
making.
to our Patreon.
If there was like TikTok back when we were in like high school, it'd be like the masculine urge to carry your binder in one hand on the side versus two hands in the middle.
The masculine urge to not have a backpack and just carry all your shit around.
Yeah,
Facts.
way too many books.
Yeah. I don't fucking need a backpack. I got hands.
Is he one strap or two strap?
I never really.
I had one
backpacked.
binder.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
just carried it.
Yeah, I just carried my
Everything.
shit
Yeah, I literally
to the best
had-
of my remembrance as well. I also had a car, so like I would just, you know what I'm saying? Like we had off-campus lunch, so.
I mean, I had a car in third grade.
Oh, we talking about
Back
third
in my
grade?
day.
I'm talking about high school, bro.
No, just
I started driving sophomore year, so I really started driving freshman year because I got my motorcycle license when I was 15. So I got
Life was different in the 80s.
a two. This guy rip the dream.
I feel like I probably used a backpack for like maybe freshman and sophomore year.
Pretty sure we weren't allowed to take backpacks to our classes.
Type of school did you go to?
The kind where like
Post Columbine and all the other school shootings.
you got to take your backpack into the classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
we
wild.
weren't allowed to.
Definitely not. At home, Drew, you weren't allowed to at your house. Mama said I gotta leave this in my room.
Hey, this is why you haven't heard me at all this podcast. I'm not in the mood.
No chance, bro.
Sorry, I always got to hit him with that.
I forgot were you homeschooled? Like,
Not the full term. He went his last 2 years.
I started in 7th or 8th grade.
okay,
No.
that's cool. So you got to experience like high
What it was
school.
like to be a normal kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good at least.
So
Oh,
my
I
chick
forget that.
my chick is over here doing homework on her computer. I look over, YouTube video, how to take good notes, 5 hacks.
Yeah, ADD people be like, or ADHD
Facts.
people be like.
I'm surprised it's not fucking like 6 hacks or 6 hacks and it's just the letter LISTEN. Number 1, L. Number 2, I. Number 3, S. It's a rough joke. I'm not feeling good, bro. I'm sick. I don't feel good.
You should get a
Me too.
telecommunicated doctor visit.
Facts.
I mean, it's not gonna do me anything. I don't think I have any time. I have to like show up with like a positive COVID test even.
Have y'all seen the dude who COVID tests
The
everything?
masculine urge to not take medicine.
He was like COVID testing like bananas and like just a bunch of random shit and getting like
Oh,
positive
I've
tests.
seen that.
That shit's wild. He's just like, he just takes requests from the comments and then he does one of the at-home COVID tests and like 50% of them pop out positive. It's
I didn't
wild.
know
That's
until I
crazy.
got this puppy that there's like, I mean, I guess I knew dogs could get COVID because I remember seeing it, but there's like a dog vaccine for it.
Let's not get political. So I just got AirPod Pros. I know Eric will be able to relate because he just talked to me. Like honestly, his testimonial, I guess is that the right word? His testimonial about him like made me want it. So I've never had headphones with active noise cancellation. This is my first pair. And like you put them in for the first time and it's wild, right? For sure the first time you put them in is wild. But then literally, I've only had them for a day and a half, right? So I don't know if it's going to continue. But literally every time I take them out, I'm like, damn, there's a lot of noise going on right now. That's
No,
just like
it's always like that for sure. I had Emily had a pair of Bose that I commandeered forever, and they're like over ear noise canceling. So like every time we would get on a flight or something, I would ask her like, "Hey, do you want to use the Bose?" She's like, "No, you can go ahead." So every time I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna put these on." I'm fucking out like a light. And so whenever I was going to the airport in October, I was going to Austin, and my AirPods first generation took a dump on me. So I got to the airport and I was like, I've been going back and forth with buying AirPod Pros for a long time. So I bought them at the airport, overpaid for them, of course. And yeah, life has been just different because it's just the convenience of having, I can carry those in my pocket. I don't have to pull them out of my backpack or anything. And then one time I was taking a flight, I think I was going to Vegas, and I didn't even have anything on. All it was just noise cancellation, dead silence. And I slept like a fucking baby for 3 hours on the plane. So nice.
it's so wild. I was in the grocery store today picking up like just some odds and ends for the week, and I put them in. And when I put them in, like you kind of hear it's like, oh, it like slowly dims out and then it gets quiet, and you have like, I had an audiobook on, which was cool because I always found it kind of hard to listen to audiobooks in public with normal headphones because like too much of the ambient noise comes through,
Yeah.
and it like drowns out the voices. So I was going up to the front to pay, right? And I like to be pretty respectful whenever like I'm in a customer service exchange. So I always take out my headphones like when I get up there, and I took them out, and it was just like immediately, it was just like is what I hear. And I'm like, there is so much just ambient noise that I guess your brain auto cancels out. Just like in a day-to-day basis, it's just wild. It's so
Do
loud
either
in
of
the
y'all
world.
do either of y'all have tinnitus or no?
I have,
Is that the ringing in the ears?
Yeah,
I don't
It's like
have that.
I do. And so it's like I don't even like. There's a little trick that you could do is like to stop it by like you like put your hands on your head, you like kind of interlace your fingers, and you essentially like snap your thumb on the back of your head. Or no, you have to put your palms on your ears, and then snap like your fingers on your head. For whatever reason, that stops it. Like briefly. It'll stop for like, I guess it varies depending on the person and how long you're like doing the snapping thing. But it was a couple years ago. I was on Reddit, just like scrolling through TikTok, and I saw it as like a GIF, like, "Hey, tinnitus life hack," and I was just like, "I don't even know what tinnitus is." I was like, "What does it do?" And so like I tried it, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like, and it just since then, it's just like I've noticed the constant ringing in my ear, and I was like, I miss when I was ignorant to what this was.
I'm probably never gonna try that now.
I don't have
Sounds like you fucked your life up.
I have pulsatile tinnitus or pulsatile or however you say it. So it's I don't have ringing in my ears, but like under sometimes if it's high stress or if I just like irritate my ears, I can hear the blood pumping through my veins in my ears. And the first time I heard it, I was gaming and I had my headset on and it sounded like someone was like outside across the street taking a bat to a metal trash can. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because it just sounded like a crash. Like it was constant, like on a good pace. And I get up and I'm like, is this? Like, I couldn't see anybody. So like I took my headset off and I could hear it and I put my headset on and I could hear it and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
I can also, I know there's like a specific name for it. I don't know, but I can like crack my, or like flex maybe an ear muscle or like crack my ears. Like if I do a certain like movement with my jaw, I can hear. The best way I can describe it is, you know, the paper on the table at a doctor's office. If you were like poke it and it makes like a little crinkle.
Oh yeah.
I can like make my ears do that.
Like parchment paper almost.
Yeah. I didn't know that like that wasn't supposed to. I've been doing it like this whole time. I didn't know that.
I'm a grab nose blower.
Not everybody can do that.
I do that.
Why the fuck would you do that?
How you pop your ears?
Nah, dude, that hurts. Fuck a bunch of that shit, and then you fuck it up, and then your ears are just constantly.
I think you're blowing too hard, bro. You gotta control the pressure.
No, I'm able to do what Nathan does. That's how I clear out my pressurized ears. Is I just click my ears, and it gets rid of it. I can also do ear rumbling, where it sounds like if you're like going, like if you stick your head out the window of a moving car,
I can do that too. Yeah.
Noise. Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
if
you
it's
just
like...
focus and
I just
hear things.
Yeah,
that sounds like
It's
psychosis.
like, you know, like whenever you yawn or whatever, I just got a good ear pussies. That's all it is I can flex that shit.
Yeah.
You're doing
it helps
ear
like
Kegels?
a lot.
I have to come over and look at them.
Honestly, that's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
But it helps a lot when you're on a plane to just like.
Yeah.
And boom.
Yeah, I don't have to move my jaw. I can just click my ears.
Yeah, I don't have to do it. I don't know why I did that way. But yeah, blowing on my ears like they're doing it like that it just scares me. It makes me feel like I'm gonna blow my eardrums out of my head.
You're not.
Yeah, no, it's not comfortable for me.
I feel like
think that's how.
Go ahead.
I'm just not going to talk for the rest of the podcast. No, you go ahead.
I just feel like it's like the breathing thing. Like you can't force yourself to not breathe. I also feel like you can't intentionally pressurize yourself to blow your own eardrums out.
It just hurts. I can't do that.
Yeah, I guess it's probably one of those things that it's like I don't want to say a phobia because I wouldn't say it, but maybe it is. I don't know. It's just like one of those things where it's like there's a disconnect in my brain where it's just like, yeah, I don't like that. I'm not doing that.
Not worth the risk.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like losing my hearing. Absolutely not. Sorry for actually no, never mind.
Anybody watching anything good on Netflix?
I kind of started The Witcher.
Season 3. Season 2 is so good.
I did watch like the first, like actively paid attention to like the first 2 episodes. And then I guess I just tried to like put it on in the background while I did other shit. And like that's definitely not a show I can do that with.
Yeah, you kind of have to keep up.
Yeah, and so I'm going to have to... I think I accidentally finished it today. And so I'm going to have to restart it.
It was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They set up for season 3, so no spoilers, but there's definitely set up for the continuation of the story.
That's good.
I still can't.
Which is
I just can't tell if that. I can't remember her name.
Yennefer.
Yennefer. Yeah, I can't tell if she's a good guy or a bad guy.
That's her character.
I don't know.
Her
If,
arc, bro.
That's the.
You just gotta watch it. I mean, you also have to like kind of define good and bad, right? So,
right.
Like, no spoilers, but like, I'm saying like a lot. I just realized a lot of the situations where the protagonist is making certain decisions are logical, but I don't know if I would necessarily put them in the best decision, right?
Right.
It's kind of like you should never sacrifice one person to save a million Captain Rogers like scenario.
Right. We don't trade lives or something.
Yeah, I get it. It's great for movies, but if a million people are gonna die, it's just kind
I'm
of hard.
sacrificing the one.
It's just kind of hard to not make that justifiable.
I feel like in a world without, I mean, I guess granted, there's not like in our world, there's also never really been that scenario. But I was gonna say, like in a world without superheroes, I feel like it's a lot easier to be like, yeah, just sacrifice a person because there's literally nothing that's gonna come save the day or anything like that, and that's all that point is in superhero movies is just a plot point for the superhero to like save somebody or some shit.
Yeah, the problem with superhero movies is the million never die, right? So
Right. Well,
they don't sacrifice the person and then the people still don't die, right? It's a double
Right.
win. It's never
Yeah.
they save them and then the bad thing. I guess
I think that's why so many people were kind of like so shook after Infinity War, is because it was like such a mass casualty of superheroes that you don't like see. Like you, it's like almost it was like Game of Thrones esque, where like oh shit, like nobody is safe. Like they just wiped out half the universe. And granted, obviously they came back in the other movie, but it was still, that was like a year later. Either way, you still had to like process the loss
later,
of
yeah.
all these characters. Yeah.
are we caught up on Hawkeye?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
5 episodes deep. So spoiler alert for all of the listeners, but now that I know my other podcast commentators are caught up, I've really enjoyed in episode 5 where they showed the perspective of someone experiencing the blip and then instantaneously coming back. The confusion and the disorientation. I thought it was really well done. I'm glad that they show those types of views because we see it as like, oh, it's been 5 years. Steve Rogers is like, they're counseling. You really only see it from the point of people who survived. But when the people could like, it had to have been crazy for the people that blipped away and then instantaneously came back. And it's different, and like it slowly faded the wallpaper. It was just a really well done shot.
Yeah, I was real caught off guard for a second. Like I didn't realize what was happening. Like it took me a little bit to figure out. I was like, oh shit, she just like snapped back. That's crazy. Like to see it from that perspective, because I think prior to her, the only person we'd seen is Monica Rambeau, and she was like, I think she'd already snapped back, and she was just in the hospital, like running down the hall, like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Same with like you see Ant-Man, right? So Ant-Man blips back. Oh no, he comes back from.
He was.
Yeah, he
in the
comes back from the quantum.
Quantum,
Right?
yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. Which I'm guessing is why he didn't get snapped, maybe because he wasn't.
Well, I mean,
'cause
it's
it
part
was
of the
all universe or
50%.
whatever. Or,
Yeah.
Was it the universe or just the Earth?
It was the universe. That's why he was saved. Because
But he
was
technically
in
could have.
between.
He could have been definitely in a different time too, because they use the quantum realm to get to different timelines. So he could have been at a different time than when the blip happened. I guess. Quote.
Right, or he just probably wasn't a part of the 50%.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Just
I don't think it's ever disclosed.
easiest. Yeah. What is it? The easiest solution's usually the right one. I'm excited for Quantumania. I know we've all seen Spider-Man, and we'll do an episode on that. That's coming up. I know we've been talking about it.
Hopefully, it's already out at the time this episode drops, because this will come out a week from now.
Oh yeah, that's true. Look forward to that. Super good. If you haven't seen it, go see it before, and then go watch our podcast about it.
Link in the description below.
Yeah, tell us what you think.
Shameless plugs away. I feel like. Has anybody seen any crazy news?
I had seen something about like, I didn't read too much into it. I've been looking for an article, but I couldn't find it because I think I saw it on TikTok or something about how people were basically comparing like the time now to like the very beginning of the pandemic, and basically like saying that now 2 vaccines aren't enough. Like if you're not double vaxxed with a booster, you basically don't count. I had seen something like that, and like now countries are shutting down again, which only makes sense because Omicron is running rampant in multiple countries.
Is it Omicron? I've been saying
Omicron.
Yeah, I'm saying Omicron.
Or at least that's what I've thought it was, is Omicron. But I
Is it
also just thought it was Omicron because of
Persei
trauma.
or yeah?
Omicron
I think it's Omicron.
I heard even with the booster, it's not even really effective against Omicron. I'm like up for my booster.
It's Omicron.
Shot.
Sorry. My apologies.
Yeah, I am also up for my booster. Yeah, I mean, I also, aside from like whenever we get together, I rarely leave the house anyways.
Yeah.
Every day. My kids go to school every day, so.
Valid.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy. I mean, it's only a matter of time before majority of like the bigger countries shut down completely again, and then they
Maybe.
like I'm supposed to go back to work next month, and we just had a conference on it last week, and my boss's boss's boss, like the CEO, was like, "Yeah, we're still gonna go back. Like we're going back next month for like 2 days, and then back again in February for like 3 to 4, and then 7 to 8 in March. We're ramping up to go back 50%.
Are you guys not like doing on and off? You're just gonna do it just like for a few days in a month?
Yeah, so we're gonna go 50%. The plan is to be back in office 50% in April, and that's gonna be standard moving forward. But like they want to ramp up from 2 days to 9 days over January, February, March to kind of get everybody back in the swing of things, I guess.
Yeah, when I was working for the corporate office, they would do this thing where like they'd let us work from home for like months at a time, and they'd be like, "All right, guys, we're all coming back to the office," and we'd come back for like a week, and then they'd be like, "All right, you can all go back home now," and we'd just go home for like several months, and that's just like rinse and repeat. They make us come back for a week, and they'd be like, "All right, y'all can go home," and I assumed that it was probably just because like they were paying rent for the space, so they didn't want to feel like nothing was getting used out of it or whatever.
I mean, even then, you got to think that they're still saving money, right? Compared to like just utilities. Depending, I don't know, like your office, like we've built out a whole wing.
Do you pay utilities for stuff like that whenever you own an office?
Yeah, I'm sure they
or
have
is
to pay
it like
electric
most people don't own their offices.
Well, so our corporate office is in Fort Worth. It's in like Sundance. It's like a 16-story building, and we're like the 12th floor and like the 15th and 16th floor, and then there's a bunch of other companies that are like in between, and some like other like sister companies and shit like that for them. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I assumed that it makes sense that like you would have to pay utilities if you're like renting a space, you're using the shit. But
it's the same as like renting an apartment.
Yeah, I would assume.
I figured that like utilities with that is like rolled into the rates.
Yeah, like I would think that like after a certain dollar point, like you're not paying.
I don't know.
It's factored into the overall.
Because like it's not just you. Like usually in office or buildings like that, there's multiple companies. So I feel like trying to differentiate who's using what would be too much. So they're just like, this is probably what you're gonna use, and then
no, there's just meters.
Roll that into the rent.
Think about an apartment complex. An apartment complex now you pay for your neighbor's electricity. There's just a meter
that's valid
on all of the outlets in your area, right? And whatever energy you use makes that meter go up.
Apartment complexes, at least I know for water, the apartment complex has a bill. Like the apartment complex gets a bill, and they just split that up, I think, in between the tenants.
I think that's untrue because
I don't know, because at one point I was living with Emily basically, and I was in my apartment in Arlington for 1 day a month, maybe 2, and it was a 50-50 shot on whether or not I was showering there or just waiting until I got back to Emily's. And on a standard basis, my water bill was like $40 a month at the lowest, and I wasn't even there.
I think there's probably a base charge, right? But I know for a fact that I would see differentials. We had a washer and dryer in our apartment. Like we had a laundry area, right? We had our own water line. So I could tell when we did more laundry, right? So at one point, our third roommate moved out for like 2 months, and our water bill went down because we did less laundry and dishes, right? Because there was only 2 of us instead of 3. So there's probably a base charge. And even with electricity, you get a delivery charge. You pay like $11 a month just to
have it.
have the
Have service.
ability to have the electricity
Like a
delivered
network
to your
access
house,
fee type shit.
and then you pay on top of that like per watt or what per kilowatt. So I'm sure it's pretty similar with water, but I know at least in the apartments there was a portion of it that was variable based on the water you use. So I don't know if they had some sort. I'm sure it's not difficult to have the same type of kilowatt meters that they have for electricity and water flow.
Yeah.
Fair.
But yeah, I just don't see how we go back in January with Omicron just ramping up as hard as it is.
There's a part of me that really wants to have a discussion, but I know if we have the discussion, YouTube might flag our video. We can't like talk too much about it.
Yeah,
It kinda sucks.
you might even have to bleep him saying that if he says it right.
Yeah, but like there's a part of me that feels like this is just gonna end up being like just another thing, like just like flu season. We're just gonna have COVID season. I feel like it's just something we're gonna have to deal with. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, I hope it doesn't cover that. But
Well, the problem is the reason you have to keep getting boosters is because like the vaccine isn't even really a vaccine, right? So like
It's-
like it's a RNA alteration to make you less susceptible. It's not truly making
Like, it
you
doesn't
develop.
cure you.
It doesn't make you develop the antibodies like real vaccines do. From what I've heard, I'm also like I'm not an expert, but
Not a doctor.
that's
It's got
why
the
you have to
government tracker.
keep getting boosters, right? The reason you have to get a flu shot every year is because it changes the strain changes.
isn't that what's kind of happening with this?
Yeah.
Like it keeps on doing different variants, and so we're constantly having to
But I don't know.
change with boosters.
From what I heard is that you would have to get the booster even if there was no variants because they like stated that the original RNA vaccines would only last 4 to 6 months.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah,
know
that
that.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like people who took the I just read like a statistic about it. People who took the Johnson & Johnson right now, like if they took it more than 6 months ago, it has like a 3% rate now. So they have to get the booster to get back up because basically they have no protection.
Yeah, that 95% that the Pfizer has is like for the first 6 weeks. And they say like within 6 months you'll be down to like like he said like 3% or something crazy like
Right.
that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like crazy how long this has like lasted.
2 years almost. Well, no, it has been 2 years.
Well,
Mhm.
2020 is just a weird year because nobody did anything. So we're at the end. We're like at the very end of 21 right now. Like when this episode comes out, there'll be like 4 days left in the year. And a lot of times when I think about 2021, I kind of almost confuse it for 2020 because literally nothing happened in 2020.
Yeah.
So when
It's a
people
year that never happened.
so when people say like, "Oh, June 2020," I think like 7 months ago. But that's like a year and 7 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Really is what it is. And so I have a hard time differentiating 2020 and 2021 because 2020 was such a crazy year where nothing happened. Like, obviously, the coronavirus happened. That was big. But
Right.
besides that, I did nothing but
Besides,
sit
you
at my
really,
house for 10 months.
No. Yeah, no, I'm just wanted to go away, like everybody does, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
It's definitely here
never
for a
gonna go
while.
away.
I was like,
It's gonna-
whenever it first like popped off in March of 2020, I was like one of the people that was like, oh, okay, it's just gonna be like 2 weeks, right? Because that's what the initial shutdown was. And then like I remember coming home on Friday, Emily's job was like, don't come back for 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. I wish my job would do that. And then on Saturday, I got an email. I was like, hey, we're shutting down for 2 weeks. Work from home. I was like, oh, okay. And then they were like talking about going back and blah, 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 blah. My company, we went back on like a 50-50, on a 50-50 basis. But Emily has an autoimmune disease. So I was like, I'm not going back. This is pre-vaccine. And I was like, there's no way I'm going back to expose myself and potentially kill my significant other. I'll pass. And so my boss talked to his boss and wrapped it up and figured it out. But that was like a 1-2 weeks maybe.
Right.
And we haven't been back as an office since. The office is open for the people who want to go, but that's like 2 people.
But it's also it's like crazy how it exposed. I mean, kind of like all of our jobs at the time. Like, there's no reason that we should be in an office.
100% agree.
Reason.
We had been fighting for 2 years at this point. Like any type of like town hall my company had, it was always a question that the team leads were asking: why can't we work from home? Why can't we work from home? The biggest argument back was that like the CSRs in office needed us. And then they fired all of the CSRs and outsourced their jobs to Mexico and Jamaica and the Philippines and, you know, forever away. It's a phone call now. So like, what was the point? So I spent another year in office when you don't need me there, clearly.
Yeah, like our corporate office, we were working from home primarily for like I worked from home for probably
Where was your
like
office?
9
I forgot.
months. As in Sundance.
No. Your at home office.
It was in my closet.
Nice.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was before I had my PC and like a desk and shit. So
Good
it's just, like,
time.
There were so
halfway
many
in my
videos
closet.
of like how to transform your closet into an office, or
Nope,
move
I
your
literally
bed
just-
into your closet for extra space in your room.
I just had my closet halfway, or had my desk halfway in my closet, halfway out of my closet. But our call center, they were constantly like, I think they got to work from home for like a total of 3 weeks, but it was like alternating. So like 50% gets to work from home this 2 weeks, and then the other 50 after that. But they they were having too much of a difficult time figuring out like the logistics of like getting the call queues correctly, as well as having a bunch of like reps just avoiding calls and shit like that because you couldn't tell if they were or not. So like essentially there was a couple people that like fucked it up for everybody. But I was just like, it was more like corporate, or not corporate, like they just didn't want to put in the effort to figure out how to like
It's a super easy fix.
get the queues
honestly.
fixed and shit like that.
We
And
use
so,
Yeah,
like,
it is.
We use Avaya in my office.
yeah, we do
And
too.
Yeah,
we
do
had
too.
the Avaya
Or we did.
agent, so you had to log in, otherwise you were going to get reprimanded. And basically, it was the exact same queue as
And it's-
like in office. It would just roll your calls from your work phone to your cell phone or your computer.
And it's funny because I still work there, and that's what all of our team leads and supervisors use is Avaya. So it makes zero sense, but they have the system there already. So why not just broaden it to everybody else? Because even today, our power went out for like a solid 2 hours, and they sent everybody who volunteered to go out to corporate in Fort Worth. So they had to drive out there, park in Fort Worth, and then be in corporate. And by the time they all got set up, the power came back on. Instead of just being super simple, being like, hey, everybody take your laptops, go home. You can just work from home today.
Yeah, like they specifically bought a bunch of laptops for their call center so they could like, if they ever needed to work from home, they could work from home. And then like this would have been a prime opportunity to do that, but they're trash. So
I plead the fifth, but
Nathan, how's the job hunt
questionable
going?
thoughts.
it's going pretty chill right now. I've just been like trying to clean up my resume. I was having a bit of difficulty like getting that all together, just since it was like in different like file formats and shit like that. But yeah, that's just
So certain like
I'm mostly right now just kind of chill, waiting for. I feel like not all places are going to be giving me interviews before New Year's, anyways. So it's like, what's
Yeah,
the
it makes
point
sense.
At this point?
the general like field you're going after.
Honestly, I haven't decided. Like, there's the one place that Eric and M recommended that I'm gonna go for. But honestly, I would like to find a place that's like remote. We were in like the tech field, so like if I could find something similar to do that, like that'd be chill. But I don't know. Like I don't. As long as it pays the bills, I really don't give a shit what it is, and as long as it
Yeah.
pays the bills and isn't like
Customer service.
industry. Yeah. I don't really want to do customer service, but if I have to, like I have to. I just don't want to go back to like. I mean, bartending was fun, but I'm not trying to do that again.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The thing with
Not the
remote
stage
work is
of my
like you
life
can get
I'm
a
in.
job basically anywhere. Like I was just talking to somebody, I can't remember who it was exactly, but I know that they were I think they worked for my company. My brain's a little foggy, but they were, high up. They were like a VP maybe
Yeah.
or something like that. And they had left, and someone was like, "How's the job search going?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's kind of hard right now because like where they were like at the corner of their field here locally, right? But now like companies, because it's remote work, are hiring people from California
Yeah.
or Chicago or New York. So you were potentially the best in your field locally, but now locally
Yeah.
it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah.
So it's
That
kind of a pain in the ass in a sense.
no. But that's something that came out of COVID that I actually like. That it's like because like we were saying that like that's my last company was an example of a company that like did not take like COVID precautions very well and didn't handle COVID as a whole very well, and like they're still not. But they're like I know other friends, and just like you said, like your job lets you work from home for a long ass time. Like I've seen other companies that were like much more accommodable to that type of shit. So
Yeah.
and like I know the workforce right now is kind of like struggling because of COVID and like shit like
The
that.
Great
So I think
Resignation.
like I think more companies are realizing like, oh fuck, like if this is a thing and if we can do it remote, then like might as well. And like I've talked to a couple people that I've matched with on like Tinder or whatever, where they've talked about how they were like working remotely in other states, and I was just like, what? That's crazy. Like I didn't even know that was a thing, but like it's apparently pretty common. Like, but I guess that's just part of like the future, really. Like it doesn't fucking matter where you're at. Like it, like my corporate job, everything that we did was literally through emails. So like one, it made no sense for us to be in office, and two, I was just like, if they wanted to, they could literally fucking hire absolutely anybody in the world to do
Hmm.
this job as long as they can sign into Outlook. They can do what we do. Like it's not a
Facts.
difficult issue.
Have you guys heard of the theory of like how there's like a employment shortage or whatever, a worker shortage, that is just several companies inflating their numbers or inflating how much they need work wise so that they can
Get more money from the government.
Get like the relief
yeah,
bills and shit.
Mm-mm.
to basically justify their PPO loans that they were getting during COVID.
Uh-uh. I
Yeah.
haven't. I could see that, but also like I
Yeah,
feel like
I've
every day on TikTok I'm seeing people that are like, "Oh,
yeah.
what'd you say? Quit my job? All right, cool." And they call
yeah.
their boss
Perfect
like
example.
yeah, like Nathan, like
Yeah, that's
the Great
literally I'd
Resignation
seen
is
so
definitely
many.
like a real thing, but I could
Yeah.
totally see some larger companies doing
It's
something
like a
like that.
combination, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could
Plus,
totally
I've
see
also
something like that.
like I've been to enough fast food restaurants where the line is dumb long, and just like ordered food from enough restaurants to know that like restaurants and like service industry, they are struggling,
Struggling,
or they
Yeah.
big
were at
time.
some point. Because like I would like I know when one of our roommates, when COVID first started, she was working at Hop Dotties. They shut down, and like they didn't even fire all their employees. They essentially kind of like put everybody
Furloughed
on like
them.
an extend. Yeah, they furloughed them, and I was like, that's interesting. For like I wouldn't have expected a burger place to do that or whatever.
'Cause they want
But
them
then like
workers
shit
back.
opened back up. Yeah, and they came back up, but that was like I knew a bunch of other people that worked at service industry. They were like, well, I don't have a fucking job now.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
I'm
And
sure
then
like
I guess
certain
that's
companies like that, like I know like certain companies will never have an issue with like finding workers, right? Like I feel like In and Out is one of those companies. As much as their
yeah.
burgers
Well,
fucking
In-N-Out
Chick-fil-A.
suck,
also
yes, I
like
said
has a
it.
decent
Chick-fil-A,
base pay.
100%. Dutch Bros. Like if I wasn't in my job, I would totally work at a Dutch Bros because I know like their
But
workforce and their like
I was
work
gonna
culture
say,
is so it's so good. Like
like
you
I've
can
heard that
just
most
tell,
about
bro.
companies,
I've heard that about Costco as well. Like apparently Costco like starts out pretty high, and then they
I could see
also like
that.
treat their
all
employees pretty
those
well.
companies take very good care of their
Yeah.
employees. Where you
Yeah.
have fucking Amazon that's like
Them,
making
them
people
motherfuckers do
stay
not
during a
care.
tornado storm. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
did you
that
not
was
hear that
wild.
story?
Uh-uh.
So those tornadoes that blew through the East Coast, there was, I think it hit like maybe one or two. I don't know exactly, but I know it hit an Amazon warehouse, and they were not letting people clock out and leave early. Did this?
Oh, I thought you were. So I saw. I think it was on Reddit. I don't remember what subreddit it was on, but it was this post user posted screenshots of a conversation she had with her Amazon supervisor, or like it was a I guess, yeah. And so like she's telling him like, "Hey, tornado sirens are going off. I'm coming back to the warehouse." And he's like, "No, like we haven't until we hear from Amazon to like return. Stay wherever you're at, like shelter in place." And she's like, "What are you talking about? Like I'm in a van. That's not safe at all. Like I'm in a van driving around randomly, and there's these, and they were like big tornadoes. Like it's like devastating."
Yeah, they travel 240
Yeah.
miles.
Facts.
And so it was just like a bunch of back and forth of her being like, essentially being like, "I feel unsafe, I'm coming back," and him being like, "No, we haven't heard from Amazon yet. You can't do that." And then like it ended with him being like, "Well, it's actually getting pretty close to us here," and it just like ripped off the roof of one of our things, so like it's not any safer here than where you're at. But I was just like, wow, that is like wild how like callous people can be.
There's no shot that like
Capitalism.
if
Right.
I worked for Amazon and I was like, yo, I'm gonna leave, there's a tornado siren, and my boss was like, no, and I'm like, what are you gonna do about it? You gonna fire me? It's fine. I'll
They
fucking
will.
quit today. Like it's not worth my life. But there's also
I feel like that's
on
a really easy wrongful
side of that, or the
termination
opposite side of that
suit.
coin. If I'm working for Amazon and I don't feel safe, and my boss is like, you can't come back, I'm driving that fucking van through that garage door. Are you gonna stop me? You gonna stand in front of this
Tuck and
van?
roll.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not, bitch. I'm finna shelter in that place.
Yeah, but I guess like the vibe I'd gotten from that. Actually, never mind. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Go?
No, what I was gonna say is, you just gotta let them fire you, right? Because then you can just file unemployment, right? That's an easy unemployment claim, right? They have to pay that out, and you know if they fire you, and it's proven that it's like a bias or like unprecedented
termination
grounds,
lawsuit.
yeah, then you can easily
Yeah,
either
as I said, it's
catch a
like
suit,
suit,
yeah,
easy lawsuit.
And they'll settle that quick.
yeah.
I'm
They won't
so
even.
sure of it.
You don't even have to.
That
You don't
shit
even have to
will
really
never
fight
make
it.
to court. Yeah.
You just file. Like, you file it, and then they settle with you, and you just,
Yeah.
you pay the lawyer out whatever percentage, and then you get the rest of it.
I want Jeff to call my phone. Like, hey, so how much to drop the suit? And be like, you know what, Daddy Jeff? Slap me a
much you
couple
got?
$100,000. We're cool.
I don't know about that, but they'll definitely
Change
give
in his
you.
pocket.
They'll give
I know.
you like years
A
of
literal drop in that
severance.
bucket. Yeah.
Shit's wild. Just
It's wild.
to
I
avoid
feel like
the
a
court case.
part of the large sum is
Yeah.
to like just. They'll probably also make you sign like an NDA or some shit.
I'm sure, but like
Oh
once
yeah,
you get, like,
100%.
if they were to fight that, you know, I feel like that would become a fucking like what's that?
National news story.
No, a class action lawsuit so
Yeah.
quick. Like it would go from a single to like hundreds and hundreds of people.
Yeah.
So
Have any of
fast.
you guys ever been in a tornado?
Not like
I
directly
remember-
in one.
Yeah, I remember like 20 years ago, whenever I lived in Arlington, tornadoes, like the sirens are going off or whatever, and like I'm out of school, and my dad like put me and my mom in the car, and we and my neighbors drove down to the Cracker Barrel on 20 and Bowen, and I had a box of like chocolate covered peanuts, and we stood in the parking lot and watched fucking 4 tornadoes spin up and touch down. Shit was wild.
So
I
every
think
time
it
you eat
was-
chocolate covered peanuts, that's all you think about.
Yeah, it's right there in the back of my mind. And then when I was in Arlington, when I went to Arlington, there was a tornado that ripped through Arlington, and apparently it jumped over the school.
I've never seen a tornado in person.
They're crazy. They're
When
beautiful,
it was like
but they're
I
wild.
was maybe a sophomore or junior. There was a tornado, or I guess a group of tornadoes maybe, that like ripped through our neighborhood. But it's like I was outside with my neighbor, her and I just like looking up at the sky, like watching the funnel clouds form. Because like anytime they start to form, it's like always above my house, and we always watched it. And like one of our other neighbors sticks his head outside. He's like, "Y'all should probably go inside." And we're like, "Oh, okay." So like we go inside, and I'm still living at my parents' house, obviously, and they have a basement. So like that was just always what we did, anyways. And like my room and shit was down there, so like tornadoes were always like light work for me. So we like go downstairs, and we're looking up in the windows, and like everything's like getting real fucking crazy. And I'm like, "Oh damn!" And then like shit stops, and I'm like, "Oh, I guess that was it." And then everything just goes like completely sideways. All the trees are looking like they're about to come out of the ground, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And it literally started at like the edge of our yard, and like went through the back half of our neighborhood and like an S shape, like going away from our house. It was insane. Like, we walked around the neighborhood afterwards, and I think that's the first time I ever like cussed at my dad. We were in a house because we weren't sure if there was anybody in the house. Like, we were just walking around the neighborhood, like surveying the damage, and we saw a house that had a dog that was like standing in the doorway, like barking. So we were like, well,
What was
maybe
the
he's
dog
like
doing?
trying to get. Yeah, we were like, we thought like maybe he's just like someone's hurt and he's trying to like get somebody's help or some shit. So we like go into the house and we're like, hello, like anybody here? Not getting a response, and like we go down into their basement. And then we start hearing like the house like make noises that a house shouldn't make, and like I looked at my dad and was like, "Yeah, we gotta get the fuck out of here, man." And he was just like, "Yeah, let's go." Then like my high school, which was like right down the street, there was a coach that like lived across the street from me, a football coach that like I guess that's essentially kind of where the tornado started, like the edge of our property line and the beginning of his. And like after everything calmed down, like a bunch of like football kids showed up in trucks to like clean up his house. So like maybe with like it was cool, and like maybe within like 2 hours his was the only house that didn't look like a tornado came through and fucked it up in the neighborhood. It was wild.
I mean,
Yeah,
it was
that's
all
what
for
child
extra
labor
credit.
gets you, man.
Facts.
Results.
Yeah, he wasn't a good coach either, so I don't know how that happened.
I was even out A's.
Right. My high school football coach was like, or the head coach of my high school was like the highest paid teacher in the state of Texas at some point.
Jesus.
What school did you go to?
Martin.
That
Yeah,
makes
that makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah, which is crazy because their football team fucking
It
sucks.
did. It was a
Yeah,
terrible team.
but their families are
Like-
rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess we like that's what all the other high schools called us, is like the rich slutty school.
Facts.
And the
most,
STD school.
most STDs for sure.
Yeah. Were you there for Arlington made Beat Martin shirts every year, right? Because I think Martin was like one of our biggest rivalries. And at one point, Arlington made a Beat Martin shirt and it said, "Take it like a warrior." And it was Colt fucking
I think I vaguely remember that.
your
yeah.
mascot. Yeah.
That's not even their mascot anymore.
Yeah.
It wasn't like approved. It was
Yeah,
outside
Right, but no,
scoreboard.
student
Yeah, but they were
made.
fucking out. They were outside selling those things, bro. The school like
yeah,
had
that's
to
not even-
come
Shut
out
that
and
shit down.
ban- No, they did. Yeah, they came out and banned them. It
Yeah,
was
like the
wild.
like
They still wore 'em, though.
I think they're still the Warriors, but like our mascot used to be an Indian, like with a
Yeah.
headdress, but they got rid of that. I think it's just an M now. It's just like I didn't know that was that.
Called the Warriors, and your W is
Sensitive.
upside down. That says something about your football team.
Because we're taking L's, baby.
Taking nothing but L's.
I think this was like supposed to be our thing, like for like Martin, like an N.
Mm. You guys see that
Yes.
South Oak Cliff High School won the state
I can only do
championship?
it with this hand.
No, that's
think-
lit though.
Yeah,
That's where I got my first tattoo, is in Oak Cliff, in a basement of some dude
that sounds
on a
about right.
Wednesday night.
Now you can go there
I
and
feel like-
use
Got
a
the
real
basement
proper
tattoo.
shop and all that, because it's
Alright.
been fuck hell yeah. Oak Cliff has been like gentrified to shit. Half of
has
it
it?
is.
Yeah,
And it's like a night and day change. You go from like Stop 6 to like Uptown Dallas. It's wild, bro.
It's like Irving and Las Colinas, bro. Irving, like you literally cross a single street and you're from like projects to $1 million homes.
Yeah.
It's
That's
wild.
how it is over
Dallas,
here.
How
yeah.
our neighborhood is, yeah. Like I wouldn't say projects or anything, but it definitely goes from like lower middle class to upper middle class real fucking quick in this neighborhood.
Have you ever
0
been
to
to
100.
Bizarre.
like Lover's Lane in Dallas?
I think I've been.
Not a
I
minute.
don't think I have any distinctive memories of it.
That is probably like where you'll see the biggest change in houses, right? Like literally door to door. There's a house on Lovers that's probably a 2-bedroom shack. The house has probably been there for the better part of 50 years. It looks like shit. It looks old.
Got an
And then-
owl house.
Literally right next door is like a fucking $3 million brand new modern looking home. It's wild.
It's insane.
Californians
crazy.
rubbing their hands together.
That, like
Facts, bro.
people used to
I
live
lied. It
where
looks like shit over there. Don't go there.
it's wild to think that people used to live where the Cowboy Stadium is. Like they literally
Yeah.
kicked people out of their homes
Yeah.
to build a football stadium.
I mean, kick
Like,
people out of homes is such a strong word.
No,
Like,
there were some people like they got a check from it. There were some people who were like, no, I don't want to fucking move because you want to build a football stadium, and they were like, too bad, we're building it, get the fuck out. Like
Yeah,
they
I
straight
mean-
up, they did kick people out of their homes.
No.
Like, it's not like up for
Some
debate.
people just missed their chance.
no, but
like, you
like,
should
no
have
matter
like
what you got
definitely
paid,
should have taken
like,
the
Yeah.
payday.
even the people that got kicked, like not kicked, but forced to leave.
no, because
like,
it went to like a city vote.
I know. I'm saying they
and,
still
like,
got paid. They just had no
I
choice
mean,
in the matter.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I
But
mean,
no matter what, they were paying like 3 and 4 times home values.
right.
Which
And I'm sure
I
the
can't think
people
of a
that like
single
held out the
situation where I
longest
wouldn't do
probably
that.
got paid the least, though.
You know, yeah.
Like,
If
at that
FC
point.
Dallas was like, "Hey, we're gonna build our new stadium right where your home is," like, hey, you
Facts.
got it, bro. I need
Yeah.
season tickets for the rest of my life, though, just to be on the safe side.
I'm also not like a sentimental person, really. So I'm like, fucking, okay, sell me that shit. Or I'll sell you this shit.
Yeah, I'm more sentimental about the things that are in the home, not the home per se.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, my mom is real sentimental about like the home that they have. Like they bought it maybe a year or two before I was born. So like it is my childhood home. And like I even like it was mine at one point where like I was the only like person in my family living there. But like now
I
it's
remember
just my
those
mom and
days.
my dad and it's a 3-story house. So I'm just like just fucking move into something like that suits
Yeah.
your needs. You don't need this big of a house.
Is the Batman still in the window?
No,
No,
when
they took it down.
Yeah,
Rip.
when my parents lived in Rockport, Drew, at my house, me and Drew have lived together before, and at my parents' house, they have a big like
Octagonal.
I don't even know what
Sun-
to call that.
Sunroom
eight
window?
Is it a sun
octagon
window?
Yeah, I mean it was like on the landing on the second stairs. There's a big like octagon window, and Drew had made a bat symbol and taped it up there so like when the light was on you could see it from the street and it looked like it was Batman. And I left it up for probably like I lived at that house by myself for like 4 or 5 years, and I left it up like the whole time. And then even after I moved out, my sister moved into the house and took over with some of her friends, and like they left it up as well. It wasn't until like my parents moved back that they were like, no. I was like, yeah, it's
Boomer.
fair. You're
Fucking party
70 and-
bloopers, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I feel like everybody on that like street was like, "Oh, that's the Batman house." Or
I
some
loved it,
shit
bro.
Like that.
Yeah,
That's lit for sure.
Yeah, but my mom, back to my original point, is like we've tried to get her to sell it because it's also like they bought it for like $85,000, and like now it's going for like over a $250,000. 'Cause of
Hell
the
yeah,
neighborhood
get the
that it's
fuck out of
in.
that home.
Yeah, yeah, and like my dad paid it off when I was like a freshman in high school too. So it's like, get your shit together, just sell the fucking house, like
Yeah.
take the bag, you don't need it. But my mom's like, no, like this is like our house, and it's like none of us give a shit.
This is not a fucking Maxwell commercial, bitch. Buy
Yeah.
a better house.
Yeah,
That
I was
was a good
you are
reference.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, she is genuinely the only person that like feels any
I'm here now.
sentimentality towards that house. But yeah, it's sell it is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because
yeah.
I feel like if you list it and you're like a 3-story house, it's pretty valuable because that's what it is.
Right, and like
Yeah.
Martin like is a like I don't want to say high sought after school, but like it is I guess a popular school in the area that people like to send their kids to. It's extremely close to it. Like we're so close that every year Martin, I don't know if they still do it, but when I was living there, every year Martin's marching band during the summer when they're practicing, they would march through our neighborhood. Which like the first couple times you're like, all right, cool, but like as an adult, when I was like hungover, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. I no shot there's an entire marching band outside.
That
my
sounds
window
terrible.
That
That's a
does sound
that's a sitcom scenario.
Facts.
Yeah.
That would definitely irk the shit out of me. I can hear like Hebron's marching band like every day practicing, but I mean that's like 2 streets down.
Yeah, like you could hear them every day practicing because they would just practice in the parking lot of school.
Yeah.
But like that was still like distant enough to be like whatever. Like it's more ambient background music than
Yeah.
anything. But it's totally different when there's fucking like a quarter mile of students walking through your neighborhood playing drums and trumpets and shit at like 10 o'clock in the morning too. It's just like what the fuck is
That's
wrong
crazy.
with
That's
y'all?
even allowed. Like people out here calling the cops on like souped up
Right.
cars with like glass back exhaust and shit.
Yeah, that's
it's
what I'm
not
saying.
a-
It's like I don't live
yeah,
at that
for
house
sure.
anymore, so I don't even know if that's still a thing. Like,
It's
I'll
not
have to text
disturbing
my
the
mom
peace.
and ask her.
It's within the hours.
Yeah, well, I think it's also because like so many kids from the school go there,
Yeah.
so
that
it's
makes
just
sense.
a lot of parents in the front yard circle jerking their kids, like, "Oh my God, there's my son walking past the house."
clarinet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Billy's such a clarinet name.
Fucking
There's one listener right now named Billy that plays clarinet. That's real sad.
No, he's like, excuse me,
piece of shit,
I
Billy."
play the oboe. Got me
not the
fucked
same.
up.
Why
Why don't you play brass like a man? Stop playing this woodwind shit, bro.
It's all about the strings, brother.
I think we
as a
can
percussionist.
call it. I think we have a good solid hour 15.
Yes, a good one. This has been Spacebar. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Again,
Make
this is
sure
our-
if you are listening on Spotify, though, if you're not following, go ahead and follow, and also rate us 5 stars if you're enjoying the podcast. It means a lot to us.
I'm
and it
shaking my
helps
head in
us-
agreement.
Yeah, it helps us get more viewers. Just our shit mentioned to them. So
/ listeners.
do that, please. Yeah.
Yeah, come back next Monday. Hang out with us. We'll be talking about some more shit that may be relevant to you, may not be, but at the very least, it'll probably be entertaining. So every
True.
Monday, socials below. Check out the Spider-Man episode. Bye.
Bye.
Later, guys.